Everyone likes a good mystery. An unexplained story that'll make you soil your bed sheets. Well, today, everybody, we got 5 unexplained paranormal mysteries to tell you about today. So grab a snack and a carbonated beverage drink and gather the loved ones around the computer, because today we're exposing the 5 creepiest unexplained mysteries. Story 1. In 1975, a man named Reginald Vell Johnson went to the local bar to share some spirits with his friends and have some genuinely good times talking about the old days on the farm. Everything was going swimmingly until suddenly he started feeling drowsy. He didn't remember what happened those last few hours as he woke up naked in a parking lot behind a dumpster. If the story ended right here, that would be creepy enough, but the mystery continues. As he stood up, he noticed on his lower back and lips was a milky white substance, and his lower legs were covered in blood. No one knows whatever happened to Reginald Vell Johnson, but he died sometime in the late 80s from a mysterious cancer. Story 2. It was a cold winter morning when Frankie Norkowski left for work. After a particularly rough day at the glass sorting facility, Frankie came home to enjoy his brand new TV that he bought himself recently. To his horror, as he entered his low-income housing, he noticed his TV wasn't there. Horrified, he ran outside and bumped into his neighbor and told him about his situation. His neighbor, a church-going man named Leroy Johnson, said, "Hey, it's okay, Frankie. Come into my house and watch my TV until we can find you a new one." Frankie, being exhausted from a hard day's work, agreed. Plus it was 1988 and night court was on. As he stepped into Leroy's apartment, a sudden familiarity came over him. He saw that Leroy had the same TV. He thought this was funny and asked Leroy about it. Leroy told him that he just got this TV a few hours ago and he really liked it, and maybe he should get himself another one because it was such a good television set. Amazed by the coincidence, Frankie said, "I can't believe it, and you also have the same bike that I do. What happened here? Is it 2 parallel universes coming together to make an extremely strange mystery? The world may never know." Story 3. The winds howled outside as Gertrude Tuffleton tossed and turned in her bed. She had trouble sleeping recently, and the windy weather outside wasn't helping the situation. As the clock rolled around to 8:30, her phone began to ring. "Hi, future customer, are you interested in long-distance savings?" the telephone said. Gertrude, in a terribly frightened state, shouted into the phone's receiver, "Who are you? How did you get my number? I don't know nothing about long distance and or savings. Call me no longer, you demon from the nether realm." She hurriedly hung up the phone. At work, that's all she could talk about with her coworkers was this mysterious caller who disturbed her slumber. And would you know, the very next night, the call happened again. Her family and friends tried to calm her down, tried to bring her away from the horror that was happening to her every night at 8:30. But it was all in vain, because the next day they found her hanging in her shed with a sign on her chest that said, "No, I do not like long-distance savings, demons." And as the coroner checked out her dead body, they found a corn cob stuffed in her anus. Who would do such a vile act? Was it demons? Was it demons of the nether realm? Story 4. Eugene Linkletter was quite the catch back in 2004, as he was a champion competitive eater. 10 pounds of hot dogs was nothing to old Eugene, as his stomach was forged in steel. He won competition after competition. Eating was nothing to a man like him, and he always was accustomed to the giant bowel movements he would have after a lengthy competition. But in Scranton, Pennsylvania, things would take a turn for the unexplained. In said Scranton, Pennsylvania, Eugene won again another hot dog eating competition. Happy with his achievement, he bought himself a 12-pack of Natty Ice and returned back to his hotel room to celebrate his victory with family and friends. After his victory party, Eugene tucked into his blankets for a long winter's nap. Sugar plums danced in Eugene's head, but suddenly he woke up unexpectedly. The call of nature was beckoning him to use the turlet. Eugene, known to be a rather bulbous man, waddled his way to the bathroom. As he pulled down his work pants, he sat on the toilet to let loose the juice. The bowel movement came in waves and splashes and plops, to such an extent that it even surprised Eugene himself, a man known for rather large dumps. 45 minutes Eugene worked to expel the hot dogs that won him another victory. But his work for the night was done. He pulled up his pants and slowly got up from the toilet to inspect his work. His night's work, everybody. As he got up and turned around and looked into the bowl, all he saw was white porcelain. What happened to the 10 pounds of hot dogs that Eugene ate? Are there places in this world where the veil between reality and the unexplained are very thin? It is yet another unexplained mystery. Story 5. Jarvis McKinley was a hard-working man, working from morning to night in the coal mining plants in Kentucky. Jarvis worked hard, and he expected to come home to a clean house every day. Jarvis' life was hell in those coal plants, and if he wanted some small shred of happiness, it would have to be in his home, a home that was clean. Jarvis's wife was a lazy woman, and she constantly refused to do her womanly duties like clean the house, wash the dishes, things of that nature. In those days, the late 60s as it were, Jarvis would come home and tell his wife, "Look, you fucking cunt, if you don't clean the fucking house, I'm gonna beat your fucking flabby ass raw." His wife didn't take him seriously. Again and again she refused to clean the house. But Jarvis had enough, and he knew this night, if he came home and the house was a mess, he would take out his frustrations out on his lazy wife. And as most people in the listening audience could predict, he came home from a rough day of work and found the house a complete disaster. There would be no sanctuary for old Jarvis, just a trashy home and a frumpy wife. Fed up, Jarvis took off his belt, slapped his woman on the face, bending her over the couch, and beat her ass with his belt until it looked like Hamburger Helper. He said, "Bitch, I had enough. I told you to clean the damn house and you're gonna clean it." And he slapped her again and again on her ass until it was brutally beaten. The next day, Jarvis came home from work and the house was spotless. Was Jarvis's belt a paranormal artifact? Something containing mind-changing power? Was it paranormal? Again, we must boil it down too. It's just an unexplained mystery. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed these 5 creepy, terrifying, unexplained mysteries. And you have a good day and a good night. And try to stay away from the unexplained.